All right, we're back, guys, and Welmu made the game. We're gonna see if we can get him to let us rehost with the mod. One sec here.
Yeah. I asked Bly let me have the maps.
All right. Well, let's get this going. I just asked if we could rehost. It's gonna be on New Gettysburg.
Oh, well that.
Well, at least that's the lobby I got invited into.
Yeah, I think Bly assumed that I was asking what are the other maps.
Ah, okay.
It was very.
Well, was just sorry, I forgot already. We've got another back. Oh yeah, so I forgot. I already forgot I had this in front of me. Yeah, it was like one of those things that came in two. I actually legitimately don't have more though. I just didn't know if you guys are gonna really hate me opening that on stream or not. I kind of wanted to do it just for the sake of doing it. So, you get this lobby up though pretty quick. So what I'll do is I'll hold this off until we're done with the series, I guess, and then open it. I don't know if anyone actually uses the QR code or anything like that, but I guess I can hand that one out again.
I have never in my life used a.
Oh, okay. So hang on, it says on the back.
Ever.
Contains a code card for one bonus online booster pack. So I guess it gives you like what, this pack online or just like a random pack online or something? I didn't even know you could play this online. You can go to Pokemon.com apparently.
I didn't realize there's a card game version. Yo, if they made Triple Triad as a real card game, I would collect the shit out of that. Why hasn't Square done that? Because they could just use every single hero in their Final Fantasy games and just keep on releasing new cards.
Yo, kick Pommy. If TV wants to, I'll deal with that on my end if we have to. I'm not doing any lobbies of Pommy that we have in charge of.
I'll get him.
Yeah, well, one was ready, I guess.
Oh, did he say that?
No, I said when one was ready, I guess.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I know you got the skills to micro those bills.
Oh wait, no, I can't actually. Come back in.
Yeah.
I actually thought you could. I guess you could only invite while it's happening.
So for those who know, sorry, there's a guy who just regularly restreams our stream and steals our content. We just don't want him in here. And he might be recognized officially by Take TV, but I wasn't told that. So we're going to go without him and get into this game for New Gettysburg. Welmu versus Bly. And I'm almost positive Pommy's going to restream our stream. He's a baby about it. So Pommy, if you're listening, feel free to just go die. That'd be great. Thanks.
Well, he's not listening. Does he?
I don't know because I don't watch him restreaming our stream.
Like, it's not worth to have the StarCraft sounds if you hear the casters.
I know yeah. Anyways, welcome back to the Home Story Cup 14 European qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into game number 1 of a best of 3 and playing for Team Expert. In the bottom right side of the map, it's going to be the blue Zerg player, Bly.
In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, he is Ents Welmu.
All right, and of course, I'll put that back to the side, guys. We'll play with that afterwards, so I don't want you guys to miss it. Bly, though, and Team Expert, I actually want to talk a little bit before we get too far into the matchup, because I think we're going to expect weird things out of both players here, as Welmu apparently just won a game in 2 minutes or less, and Bly is frankly known as a cheesy player. 2 drones going out to the way north. Oh, my God.
Whoa, whoa.
Was this just to get around the pro?
Okay, so he takes a third. That makes sense.
Yeah, does he take the gold with the other, or is this just for scouting and not going through the middle of the map? I'm curious about this because Bly is the type of guy to take this base and then actually put a hatchery down over here still, right? Like, this will be interesting. It might just simply be for scout, and if it is, not the end of the world. I was going to talk about for Team Expert real quick, though. I don't know what the requirements are from them. Like, are they just simply paying Bly and Scarlet everyone to wear the jersey? Because they don't have the clan tags, like, in-game. Tasteless, not to his detriment, like, did not, like, when he introduced Beyond in the finals, he introduced him as, like, teamless, because, yeah, there we go. Because, like, nobody really knows about Team Expert, other than, like, the quick announcement, so I'm wondering what their branding plans are.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I guess it's like I have no idea, but they did get a lot of recognition, I suppose, from Beyond. At least they had the team expert thing up on a camera. This is really weird. This is very old. It's not totally unheard of to do this, but it is a very old thing to do. I haven't seen it since Heart of the Storm, I think.
Actually, this is one of those perfect times where I'm really glad we made with the mod. Look at the income dip for Welmu as he has to respond to this. And because Bly's known to be someone who actually dedicates to this, you can't ignore it either. I killed the drone. That wasn't supposed to happen. But still, that's a lot of time off mining. And as we see, like a good 300 mineral dip almost. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is something that was very obnoxious to deal with in Heart of the Swarm, because you would think sometimes it would just be them denying you your nexus, and then sometimes it would let the damn thing complete. And if you tried to save those minerals by not pulling the probes, they would just let it complete until you had like spine crawlers and roaches in your base.
So this is really cool. That's how it walked across the map. He didn't make this specifically to deal with the hatchery should he have needed to, but tries to get some kills on the drones with it. The Zealot's actually getting pretty counter-microed by Bly here really well. That only kills one drone.
Yeah,
But
that was really good.
Bly did have to pull off a mining as well, and we see Welmu shoot back up. So incidentally, this almost evens out. It's weird. It's so just strange to see this happen, but it's cool. It's cool at the end of the day.
These little interactions very rarely decide the game, right? Like, unless you had immediate follow-up to something that disturbed the mineral income or the larva production within the next minute, it usually doesn't really matter. So, like I was saying, when back on the Storm, when it could have been either like a full-on cheese, suddenly you have like a larva popping in your base, or if it was just the denial. I would say that after the first edition of it anyway, it really didn't do that much damage. People got used to it. People like True abused it, but
it was so fun watching True, by the way, for that whole, like, I want to say like 8-month stretch where he would do it almost every single game versus Protoss.
Yeah. I would say Bly is really like, he's always been, cheesy, aggressive, all in, sure, but he's also really been digging deep into like just like the retro Zerg or something, because he's been going back to builds that are supposed to be obsolete, like directly to mutas against Protoss, like nothing else before then. Going for 2-base muta versus Terran, which no one really does anymore. Now we see him go for the hatchery block. This is all really old stuff that just people thought Legacy of the Void wasn't really worth it anymore. Retro Zerg. Retro's always the best way to go.
That's
was a Dark
what
Shrine.
We need. They got skins coming out. When are we gonna get retro skins?
What would retro skins even look like in StarCraft? Because like you try and put a Brood War skin, and it just looks pixelated.
Oh no, you're thinking like literally retro. I was thinking just more like the genre of retro, so like kind of
like
80s themed and.
Okay, well that's cool too. Like an adept that is wearing like
the adept, like let's say like the visor starts glowing really bright type thing, right? And
I was thinking of the plastic jackets that they would wear, that was like cut like the V or whatever.
Well, I was thinking like, what if the Sonic Transfer left like a Tron style trail behind it too, like.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's super cool. But no, I was thinking like throwback to Brood War, but I'm really not sure he would do that.
Yo, I wonder if that would be possible, like, because we mod stuff in the BaseTradeTV mod to make like the Banelings look extra glowy and stuff. I'm wondering how tough that would be to create something like that. I'll have to make a mental note to talk to Joey about that later. Anyways, 4 DTs warp in through the warp prism middle of the map, so Bly definitely does not see this. Seeing the warp prism, I think you just assume, as well as you think it's going to be some adepts, as there's been no scouting in the main, no idea that this has Dark Templar in it.
Yeah, that's a very clever location for a Dark Shrine. But of course, Bly also didn't scout, so it doesn't matter. Their base is denied, and Bly does have a lair. It's getting rush speed right now.
And Spore Crawler.
Oh, and already Spore Crawlers. Okay, so this doesn't do any damage. If no army was here, maybe they sniped the Spore Crawler, but then the Overseer would have been made. Not the best opener here for Welmu. That was, the 2-base DT opener, which it's not totally detrimental, but the fact that his 3rd base is also still being denied is what's really sucky.
Meanwhile, on the right side, we got the Archons that got made out of the DTs, realizing they weren't going to be too effective. I always love seeing some good Archon warp-ins. If you're picking up and dropping and doing like the cool drag and drop, just get some damage done, yeah, Archons can just cause a bit of chaos and havoc. But when there's a lot of micro being done with these, and they're actually targeting, firing down the drones, and fighting in very precise locations, I think that's what you distinguish the really good players from the like okay players. And Welmu should fall into that category.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bly does have a lead in army supply, and it's a bit of a scary one because he's also had his 60 drone count up for quite some time. You know, he's been at a pretty good economy. He only has to worry about making an army until he gets a fourth base anyways. But not just the roaches and the supply count in general, I would say the Spire follow-up is of course what's scarier, especially if Welmu is just focusing on dealing with roaches, obviously getting immortals, getting the usual Protoss composition. Doesn't include anti-air most of the time. Sometimes you see players do Mass Blink Stalker, and that's okay, but this is really just going to be Zealot Immortal with 1 or 2 Archons. And depending on how Bly chooses to use his Spire, whether it's just the 7, 8 mutas deal with a Warp Prism, or actually get up to 20 or 30, no, Welmu could be in trouble.
Well, the overcharge gets popped, but the Roach is sitting at the wrong pylon right away. Still, pylon goes down. Something like trapping that force field actually really nice. And Bly, without his classic burrow tactics, he doesn't really have a way to work around this. So he tries to run around with the Roaches, pick off the probes. Welmu anticipated this, throws down a very nice force field to catch it. Over here, Warpin's going to try and keep him out of the base, but the pylon's going to open the doorway. Another force field comes in clutch out of Welmu. Really nice force fields to defend this fight.
It wasn't that scary of a roach count, but that was also just like a really perfect hold right there. It was nice.
Yeah.
Bly is going for 15 mutas, so that is more than just killing Warp Prisms.
You know, on top of this too, there's quite a. I mean, Bly's not just got map control in terms of like he's been exercising his right to walk around on Welmu's side, but taking the extra bases this early is going to establish the ability to get all that creep out so quickly. And I mean, you don't see it happen too often, but we're going to have creep spray like halfway in the middle of the map by like 10 minutes.
Yeah. 5 bases. Bly is going to take. I mean, he's already taking control really because it is a somewhat passive after the initial shenanigans New Gettysburg game. But the mutas are going to give him even more control. And Welmu did start Blink, you know, and he's going to have that first line of defense against mutas. But of course, Phoenixes are usually where it's at, and he's just nowhere near Stargate.
Electric core gets torn down. Muta's just going to keep running around. That Archon's not close enough to fight, actually. Was a little bit stalled up by the Stalkers. A bit awkward over there. Glaveworm not quite killing some of these things, including the cannon, but everything you're getting so freaking low. Bly's control of the mutas is pretty nice too as he ducks on out of there. 29 probes dead for the cost of 3 mutas so far. I love the idea of the cannons to maybe help out and buy a little bit of time. Oh, the mega depower on that pylon snipe too. Here's a question for you, Zombie Grub.
What?
Why don't assimilators require pylons?
Why don't Nexus?
You know what? That's a good point. Well, I always assumed the Nexus had like a pylon inside of it, actually. Like, because that's how it creates its supply / powers only that one structure. A really tiny pylon.
I don't know.
So that's what I thought the thing at the top was.
Oh, that's the pylon?
Well, like the crystal or whatever, right?
I mean, it looks different than the pylon crystal, but it's not a bad like thought. I can see that being the case.
That's just legit what I always assumed it was, but I guess thinking on it now, that wouldn't be the case, would it?
I don't think so. These mutas are doing more than just... Well, okay, I was going to say they're doing more than just keeping Welmu back. They're doing significant damage and economic damage too, but they aren't keeping Welmu's army back. He did try and send across the army and catch Bly off guard, but Bly already has his ground army on a concave after that bridge, and Welmu just returns home, but it's like, he's out of luck now. There's nothing he can do. He's going to lose this game.
Yeah, Bly... I mean, a lot of Zerg players know just how powerful the Muta swap can be, and any tech swaps in general, and Bly caught Welmu a bit with his pants down. Unfortunate to say the least, but Welmu at the same time, by going for the Dark Shrine opener, by not going for any sort of Stargate opener, he left himself open and vulnerable to a move like this. So, Bly seeing the advantage, or maybe Bly was just planning to blindly do it anyways. Either way, it worked out really well in this game.
Yeah. I mean, he was going for the Blink and the +1, but he didn't have that many Stalkers to begin with. He was only warping them in as the mutas came over. He really had no scouting, because all the reasons you just said, and you really, even if you did have Blink Stalkers with +2, it's still, you know, it's a surprise, it's a surprise, and ideally you have a Stargate already to build Phoenixes. That is the easiest way to deal with mutas anyway. But the only thing that Welmu can do now is basically all in. Just send his army across the map and hope something happens, because he's just going to slowly get killed here.
Yeah. Dying out, last breaths and all that. Cannon gets picked off. The Stalkers all died. Worst part for Welmu is he doesn't even have the money to warp more, and the plasma shield's even getting shut down here. The Forge being depowered the way it is. Archon gets a really nice shot, but one shot's not enough to stop this, and Bly at any point could just go straight to that third, I feel. Pretty comfortably, too.
It's interesting that...
Oh, I think he saw the probe transfer back. Oh.
He wanted it.
He wanted it.
Did go for shields. Bly goes for Banelings despite seeing what is mostly like Immortals and Archons, but that's... We'll talk about that. I'm more interested in the fact that Welmu did go for the shields. It's apparently something that's... especially when you get Archons in the mix, but that the shield is better than the attack, even. Because we typically see Protoss just try and get the +2, +3.
So... Interesting point just brought up in chat. You know, so it's called an Artosis pylon when something like this blows up, right?
Okay.
And it's the only thing powering a lot of buildings. The origin story of that zombie group is, and I believe like Artosis did that one time, right? So everyone just calls it that going forward.
Yes, he did that in a GSL qualifier.
So my thoughts are this: that's maybe how it started, but now it's because it's the most important pylon, just like how he's one of the most important casters.
You should tell him that. Maybe it'll make him feel better.
Yeah, that's some brown nose. If someone wants to highlight that clip and send it to Artosis, please and thank you.
Ooh,
the Warp Prism wasn't
apparently
so essential anymore, but it was going to be something nice to have at least a little bit of micro potential with.
Okay, just to tap out.
Yeah,
just try. So apparently the similar thing is explained in the lore, as most things are, I suppose. They power themselves because they're on the Vespian gas. The Vespian gas can power buildings.
I guess it's kind of like solar winds. Like I don't know. Like I'm just gonna. It's one of those things where like, I don't understand it, but I'll agree with it because it sounds sciencey. Like it makes sense. Anyways, game 1 obviously goes to Bly in that instance. So congratulations to him. He'll move on to game 2 against Welmu. Looks like Mana has advanced over his opponent down below, by the way. So the winner of this will play Liquid Mana in what appears to be a qualifying match. So that's awesome. They're also being very active about walkovers in the losers bracket, which makes me very happy because if you'll notice, the losers bracket is actually caught up. There's no one match that's like 5 hours behind the rest like there normally is in a losers bracket scenario. So super props to TakeTV, Naruto for being on the ball with that, because that is always the #1 fear when you have a double elimination bracket, that it's going to take 7 extra hours because of the second bracket.
Yeah. They are doing a good job. It's not even because the players are telling them. No, they're doing what they usually do and just like piecing out without saying anything or forfeiting without saying anything. They're just keeping track of it.
Of course, extra shoutouts go to Dares. He's a guy who's been modding for us again more recently, but it's being, I guess, lent out or used by TakeTV today. So he's helping make sure the brackets move along smoothly.
Well, you ready to go?
Yep.
Oh wait, no, that's not him.
No, and it shouldn't be. Man, I'm going through my Twitter feed, right? And I'm still seeing all of these BlizzCon pictures of people I never saw at the convention pop up, and I mean like cosplayers and stuff. And there was some legit good cosplay at BlizzCon. And for me, but talking to some of the cosplayers, like super respect to the people who bought their or didn't buy their stuff but made all their own stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That is impressive and kind of expensive. But thank you to Wardy for the host.
Wardy with 2 eyes.
Fear Dragon. Yeah.
Or 4.
So Take told me not to kick him.
Who? Like
Take. Like caster A.
Kick him again, I'll deal with it.
Okay.
Because he didn't tell me.
I told him to tell you, and I guess he went into a game.
All right, but yeah, thank you, Wardy, who, for those who don't know, is staying with Fear Dragon presently. They're doing their own adventures of I don't know what over in America.
Someone brings up that Artosis played Zerg when he was in the GSL, and that's true. He was a Terran player in Brood War, and then he tried Zerg along with Idra, thinking that it'd be the better race to showcase their skills. And then he swapped to Protoss, and one of the reasons he did an Artosis pylon was that he was kind of new to Protoss, like he'd been practicing, but it still wasn't his like main race type deal, and he was super tired. And I remember he like explained this very specifically because he was like tired of people calling it Artosis pylon.
I'm telling you guys, it's just because it's the most important pylon. It's a pretty big deal. All right, we're getting into game number 2. Spawning in the top right side of the map. He won game number 1 with some pretty good control and a surprising amount of mutas. Ladies and gentlemen, the blue Zerg, Bly.
In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, he is Welmu.
I should say, though, that it's not just that he won that game, but it was a weird start to the game, if you remember, too. The proxy hatchery, which we actually, without asking Bly, could not tell you whether that was a fake or a real endeavor. Because for Bly, he's the one player where that could have very viably been real, because he's the only guy who seems to make that work. At the other time, he's also smart enough to mind game an opponent and screw with him like that. Kind of like what we see happening again.
It is. Welmu and Bly have been through all the expansion at this point. They've been through 99% of the metas. I guess maybe they took like a month break or something, probably. But the point is, it's like a long time. Welmu knows that if he doesn't take care of this with the perfect amount of probes to actually out DPS the health growing, that it'll finish and he'll just have to kill an entire hatchery.
Yeah, and I believe it's 7 to 8 probes somewhere in that region is what you're going to want to have to make that happen. It's unfortunate because, again, like you lose a lot of mining doing this and Bly spikes up because of it. But Welmu does some more work because he goes right back to it. Bly did take a base, by the way. It looks like this time he is actually intending to proxy.
Oh, I love this. Welmu's not scouting, so he is just assuming that Bly has taken a base.
Right, and in taking this one step further, he's also going to go through the middle of the map. And Bly, had he proxied right at the front door for spine crawlers, that would have been too blatantly obvious. However, putting off to the side like this, yeah, Welmu doesn't scout that.
It is still spine crawlers. Of course, if Welmu built any differently on Galactic Process, it would be almost laughable that Bly did this because he'd have to go so far forward with creep before you get his spine crawlers over there. But Welmu walls off. I think that's what most Protosses do now. Some Protosses still do the diagonal, do like their Nexus type deal, but a lot of them are just saying like, yeah, let's wall everything off and just get to easy 3 bases. Bly's totally gonna take advantage of that. That's rude. That's mean.
Well, this is something where Welmu's still... Okay, he sees the creep now. He comes over, but you have to have already had made a zealot for this. Unfortunately for Bly, though, there is a forge going down. And it's worth noting that it's not necessarily cannons themselves that will stop this, but cannons in a position that don't let spinecrawlers root on the ramp is what's going to stop this the best. Yeah. The idea of a force field as well is kind of cute. We'll see how far this goes and how bad this gets or doesn't get, but this will not be easy for Welmu. However, it's worth noting that if he does do this correctly, it's going to look super easy for Welmu.
Right? Welmu definitely did on that forge because he scouted the lack of a hatchery, I do believe. I don't think that was initially part of his build. Pretty sure anyway. And it is important. Again, they have gone through all the metas and all the ways that people learn to defend against proxy hatcheries and whatever else happens in StarCraft the last 7 years. And a forward response was one of them. Doesn't mean it's the perfect response. You still have to have a lot of control, like not losing your mothership core, for instance, to make it work, not letting the lings flood in. Already this is not looking so great. Like, when this wall breaks, Welmu really does not have anything else. He just has probes.
He's actually... I'm a little bit worried that... Yeah, if the lings flood in, that's one thing, but breaking through 3 cannons worth of damage is not going to be easy. Unfortunately, as we can see here, the creep spread so far, it's going to be very expensive for Welmu to get a full wall off. That's why he's pulling the probes over to just block the hole. It's probably a more efficient way to do it, because he just doesn't have the money to build like 3 gateways to the left side right now. Pylon's going to go down again for free. It's super ridiculous how frustrating this is to deal with. And like I said, guys, it's not going to be easy for Welmu to do. But the cannons are in a pretty prime spot for this. But the lings, they do run right past. There's nothing to defend the mineral line. There's nothing in the main. There's all the probes right here hiding around the pylons. And trying to transfer through. GG. Bly takes the series 2-0 and moves on to fight against Mana in the semifinals.
Well, cheesy. Well, the first game was not cheesy, but that one was brutal. That was... You don't expect that anymore. Come on now. At least not on that map. I guess Bly was doing that on Dasson Station.
Well, I promised you guys I'd open that card pack, so let's get this bad boy out of the way before we get into the next series. Because it's going to be a qualifying match coming up. A best of 5, Mana versus Bly. So... El Luchador! On the front, let's turn this around. Oh yeah, what's the QR code thing on the back? Here, for anyone who wants to use the pack online. Go nuts, have fun. There's that code. Camera focus.
Oh, I could use a donut right now. Donuts.
Get some Timbits. Timbits, eh? All right, so let's do this. So the first card is a Licky Tongue. Man, the light's actually making this like hard. I'm gonna move my camera again. It's like just be easier to see. Sody pop cans confirmed best camera tripods of all time. All right, let's see here. I got a Licky-Tongue. It's not shiny, nothing special. I got an Electabuzz. Yo, Electabuzz is actually super legit. I loved the Electabuzz playing the game, man. Let's see here. Gothita. Oh, one sec. I have to message TTV.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, the next opponent for Bly is Mana.
Yeah, he was talking about Mana vs. Bly because they didn't have the score updated. Gothita. Then we got Pikachu. Oh, it's a classic old Pikachu, and he's in the forest. Looks like he actually just took a big fart and spreading it around.
That's thank you for that image. Wow, hate me. 2-0 Damshar? Not the top side of the bracket I was expecting. I also really need to go to the bathroom.
Go for it.
I will go for it. It'll be the greatest.
Alright, well, let's get these Pokemon cards finished here before we get things going. Pikachu. Then, is that... Oh, it's not shiny. It's just purple. I got really excited. I thought I had like a shiny Clefairy or something, but nope. Oops. Okay, confirm Coke cans are not the greatest tripods. They're easy to hit. Oh shit, I did get a shiny Clefairy! I got a shiny Clefairy right behind the regular Clefairy! Oh, one sec here, guys.
Oh, that was the greatest. Just like I said it would be. Oh god. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
You missed my awesomeness. Sorry, I was typing.
Oh no, I heard it.
Yeah, I got a shiny Clefairy, dude.
That's pretty cool. Clefairy's alright.
I got a Drapion underneath it.
Clefairy.
Yo, Drapion. This guy, was it Black and White? I think was where this one got introduced. This guy carried me through the Elite Four. Okay, like he just KO'd everybody. Oops, as I drop my cards. Behind that is a Vigoroth, which is lame because this is like the lazy Pokemon.
Is it
thing.
Did you play Pokemon Stadium?
No, but Energy Card and Maintenance were the last ones. Lame. I got a shiny Clefairy though. Wait, was Pokemon Stadium the N64 one?
Yeah.
Yes, I played that then, and I love that.
Okay, the Clefairy one was the one where you had to remember what they did, right, and then like repeat it back to them. Right? Or was that Jigglypuff? I think it was Clefairy.
I don't remember, to be honest. It was so long ago. I only remember that I hated Sandshrew, man.
No, Sandshrew was the best. But I was gonna say because I hated that mini game with the Clefairy when we had to memorize and repeat back. I was terrible at those games. But I could smash the controller for that Sandshrew game like no other. What's up? Whoa. Oh, Gaming's been casting? I haven't seen them at all. Alright, I'm missing Bly. And you.
Yeah, so we're still talking to TV. We're gonna go commercial break though, guys. So stick around. We got the semifinals, Mana vs. Bly coming up when we return.
Bye.